Hello. So I communicate with a few friends using Snapchat, and sometimes out of morbid curiosity, I'll check the Snapchat Discover section. Now, if you really want a very depressing look into the current state of society, then you definitely want to check out the Snapchat Discover section. But the other day, I found one that was really quite disturbing to me and made me want to create this video. So there was one section of Discover Stories called Hooked on the Look. So if you've never heard of this, basically it's people with severe body dysmorphia that they spend exorbitant amounts of money to do strange body modification surgeries. So this one got my attention because it was a man doing multiple leg implants, which was just especially bizarre to me as to why he would want to do leg implants. And I will link the video in the description, but essentially, this man was addicted to looking like a Ken doll, and he wanted implants to make his legs look more muscular as opposed to, like working out or something. Uh, but the reason I wanted to make this video though is uh, the whole thrust of these videos is essentially to make fun of these people. We look at them and nobody's saying, oh, they need to be validated. We need to buy into their delusions and keep allowing this to happen, allowing them to spend all this money on disgusting surgeries to look like freakish abominations. Um, but the one point is that we don't do that when it comes to a certain other group of people. You might know who I'm talking about. um, yes, that's trans people, right? So if you want to get implants because you have a severe mental illness and you want to look like a Ken doll, that's something we, rightfully shame and say maybe this person deserves to get help. But if you want to cut off your penis, then you are totally valid and not mentally disabled. But beyond that, I mean, we all understand that. But the really sickening part is while the viewer can look and say that this hooked on the look, these people are mentally ill and they have a real problem, we have doctors that are still giving them the surgeries. I don't think these doctors legitimately believe that these people need these surgeries or it's right for them to have them or they're doing something that they're not going to regret at some point in their life, but the doctors do it anyway. So we need to ask, when are we going to start holding these people accountable? I mean, this is a really sick, degenerate thing that they are contributing to. And the question is, why would they want to do this? Are they righteous? Are they are they doing this because they think it's totally right for this mentally ill person to want to look like a Ken doll? No, they're doing it because of money. And for whatever reason, we have this idea in our heads that doctors are always good people with righteous intentions. And this is case in point number one of why that is absolutely not true. So we have these doctors that are doing plastic surgery, making people look like freaks and doing it for money. And that's supposed to be something okay, something we're just going to allow to happen. We're going to turn a blind eye to it as a society and allow it to continue. So this one individual, he spent almost $1 million. So it was $985,000 was the amount that he had spent on body modifications. Now that's $1 million that this doctor had essentially grifted away from this mentally ill individual. I think that is worthy of punishment along the lines of any kind of white collar crime. I mean, if a financial analyst swindled, $1 million out of an unsuspecting person who was mentally ill, I would think that they should be locked up for a long time. In the same way, if a doctor is going to exploit a mentally ill individual, they should absolutely be locked up as well. Um, so yes, doctors not good people, and this isn't just plastic surgeons. We have people that go to medical school for however long, and they say, what I want to do, I want to not go to school to help people. I want to grift and make millions of dollars, making people into freak beast abominations. So not a righteous person. But then there's also people that say, oh, I want to make a whole lot of money doing bottom and top surgeries and changing people's gender even though they're mentally ill. Now, I'm sure there are a few people that maybe are idealistic that do believe in this whole trans thing, but I guarantee you there are plenty of doctors who are just in it for the money because this is, at the end of the day, a cosmetic surgery. The government isn't paying for it just yet. And so if they smell the way that the wind is blowing, that they could get a lot of money cutting people's dicks off, why wouldn't they do it? Considering we've already shown many doctors to be morally bankrupt individuals. So this is another way we need to approach this whole trans situation. Um, we understand that these people are mentally ill, and while that is a pretty shameful thing what they're doing, can we really blame them for their mental illness? The people who we should be holding accountable is the doctors that literally buy into that mental illness and allow it to happen. I mean, these are the people we need to start attacking. These are the people that are actually true, sick, twisted, and opportunistic individuals, and they should be punished along the lines of, any other type of white collar criminal. And I think that's a stance that uh, right wing people need to start adopting if they really want things to change. And one other issue this applies to is abortion. Um, we have plenty of young women getting abortions, and that is a terrible thing. But at one point, it's really hard to blame an emotionally vulnerable young woman for a decision she makes. Maybe we should blame the perverted doctor who is going to go through with this uh, surgery to take a life. And why are they doing it? Once again, some of them are idealistic, I'm sure, but then other ones, abortions aren't free. I mean, they're getting paid for by uh, your tax dollars and Planned Parenthood. So there's definitely money in that, and somebody's going to smell out the dollars and know that there's a lifestyle that can be made by murdering unborn children. So once again, instead of attacking these people that are in a position and they might not be making rationally fully fleshed out rational decisions, we should attack these doctors who are making a very conscious decision to do something uh, disgusting, immoral, and altogether taking advantage of a person who is in this vulnerable position. So, plastic surgeons, trans surgery people, and abortion doctors are all truly the scum of the earth. I mean, we need to start treating these people like it. And the last point that I'm going to make here is, if anything, I think I should have illustrated the fact that if somebody goes to medical school for however long, it doesn't turn them into a good person. I mean, there's plenty of people who are literally just there for money. And throughout this whole pandemic, we've heard so many people saying, trust the doctors, and, doctors wouldn't lie to you. Well, they've been proven to have really poor judgment on these three topics. And then I haven't even gone to things like the opioid crisis or ADHD over prescription. So these doctors are not using good judgment when they prescribe opioids. They've created an opioid epidemic, killing millions of Americans yearly. Uh, and we have millions of kids that are hooked on basically meth because of idiotic doctors to keep overprescribing this. And so, one, they're not good people. Two, they're not necessarily people with good judgment. And why are we trusting them blindly, right? We shouldn't just look at a doctor and trust them by authority of that position. If anything, they should be under the heaviest magnifying glass because of the perceived authority they have in our society. So anybody that says trust the doctors is really not acting in the most rational way. There's plenty of reasons not to trust the doctors, to the point where I would almost explicitly do the opposite of what a doctor says if it conflicts with what I personally think is correct based on my judgment and understanding of the world. So, to summarize, I think we need to start holding doctors accountable. Start challenging these doctors, challenging these sick people that are doing sick things and taking advantage of people, and really start exposing the fact that there are people out here who are sick, opportunistic individuals, and perhaps lobby for legislation that is going to punish these people the way that they should be punished. So thank you for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe, as well as check out my friend's channel who started making videos, Satanta. I will post a link to his first Odyssey video down below. Please watch, and see you next time.